Ever catch your cat staring into nothing? A corner of the room, a patch of darkness, their eyes fixed, their body still. Maybe it happened last night, just as you were falling asleep. You look. There's nothing there. But what if there is? Cats don't just see better than us. They see more, in ways we're only beginning to understand. Today, we're uncovering the hidden world your cat sees and why it might just be protecting you from something you can't even perceive. Night vision beyond imagination. When the lights go out, your world fades to black, but not for your cat. While you're bumping into furniture, they're gliding through the dark like they've memorized every inch. It's not magic, it's biology. Cats have a special mirror-like layer in their eyes, called the tapetum lucidum, that reflects light back through their retinas. Even the faintest flicker becomes a spotlight. Their pupils widen, almost unnaturally so, opening to the world like deep, black oceans. In those eyes, darkness is not empty. It's alive. They don't just see shadows. They see motion inside the stillness, vibration inside the silence. Imagine having the eyes of a hunter, but using them to guard the ones you love. Because here's the thing. When your cat stares into the dark corner of your room, it's not just curiosity. Sometimes it's protection. And if that gives you chills, wait till you hear what their ears can do. Ultra frequency. Hearing your cat might look like it's napping. Eyes half closed, body still, not a muscle moving. But its ears. They're listening, rotating ever so slightly like little satellite dishes scanning the unseen. Cats can hear up to 85,000 Hz, almost double what a dog can detect, and far beyond anything we'll ever perceive. To them, sound isn't just noise. It's texture, emotion, warning. They can hear a mouse's heartbeat through a wall, the flutter of a moth behind the curtain, even the slight change in your breathing before you wake up. Ever noticed your cat suddenly lift its head and stare at nothing when the room is perfectly quiet? That moment when everything freezes? To us, it's silence. But to your cat, it's a signal, a footstep outside, a voice in another room, or something more subtle, something only they can catch. It's not paranoia, it's vigilance. Because for a cat, protecting you starts long before you even realize there's a threat. And if their ears are always on guard, wait until you discover what their nose knows. The smell map. To your cat, the world isn't just what it looks like, it's what it smells like. Or more precisely, what it feels like through scent. Every step they take is guided by invisible trails, maps made of memory, emotion, and chemistry. Where we see a couch, they smell where you cried last week. Where we see a guest, they smell the unfamiliar dog that guest owns. Cats have a hidden superpower, a special organ on the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ. It lets them taste the air, decoding layers of scent we can't even detect. Fear, stress, illness, even tiny shifts in your hormones before you notice them yourself. That's why your cat sniffs your face, your hands, your pillow, why they press their cheek against yours. It's not just affection, it's understanding. They know when you've had a bad day. They know when you're tired before you say a word. They don't need language. They read your scent like a story. And when they rub their face against you, they're not just marking you. They're syncing with you, saying, I see you, I feel you, you're mine. But even more surprising, you leave scents behind for them too. And that is where the next sense comes in. Staring into shadows. Ever notice your cat staring, unblinking, into a shadowy corner? You look. There's nothing. But your cat, still frozen, still alert, Some say it's just insects, floating dust, flickers of light. But some nights, it feels like more. Ancient folklore speaks of cats as guardians between realms, seeing what we cannot. And cat owners across the world share the same story. My cat stared into the dark and refused to come near me until I turned the lights on. Science says they detect tiny motion. But what if they also detect presence? Whether it's superstition or something science can't explain yet, one thing's certain: cats don't waste stares. And sometimes, that silence says everything. Sensing disaster before it happens. In 2011, just minutes before a massive earthquake struck Japan, cats across the region bolted, long before any human felt a thing. No alarms, no tremors, just an ancient instinct. Scientists now believe cats can sense P waves, the earliest ripple of a quake, far before we can. But it goes beyond earthquakes. Some cats have refused to leave their owner's side, hours before a seizure. Others meowed relentlessly at closed doors, only to reveal a gas leak. They don't have words, but they sense patterns, pressure, change. And when they act out of character, it's not always a quirk. Sometimes it's a warning. And if we choose to listen, they just might save us. Reactions to strangers. A friend walks in. You smile, invite them in. But your cat bolts under the couch. Or worse, sits at a distance, staring, unmoving. Or maybe jumps straight into their lap, purring. What makes the difference? Cats don't judge by appearances. They read posture, breath, energy, even hormones released when someone is nervous, angry, or hiding something. You might hear polite words, but your cat? It hears intent. One owner swore their calm, gentle cat growled at a seemingly nice neighbor, who later turned out to be abusive to animals. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe your cat just knows. So the next time they act strange around someone, trust their silence, and trust the love they reserve only for you. If your cat seems weird, maybe they're just aware. You might think your cat is quirky or dramatic. Zoomies at 2 a.m. A sudden pause in the hallway, refusing to step into a room they walked through yesterday. But what if those weird moments aren't weird at all? What if they're reactions? Not to what you see, but to what you don't. A low hum, a faint shift, a presence your body hasn't noticed yet. To your cat, awareness isn't optional. It's survival. It's connection. So the next time they act odd, before you brush it off, ask yourself this: what are they picking up that I'm missing? And when they freeze mid-step, that's your cue to look closer. Learn to trust their reactions. Cats speak a quiet language. No sirens, no alarms. But they speak with stillness, with the flick of a tail, a low meow that sounds different. Sometimes it's subtle, too subtle for us to decode, but it's real. They feel the tension in a room before the argument starts. They sense your sadness before the tears come, not because they're magical, because they're present, because they notice what we overlook. So when your cat retreats or suddenly stays by your side, don't dismiss it. Trust it. Because in a world full of noise, they're the ones who notice the silence shift. The silent guardian. Cats aren't loud. They don't bark warnings. They don't charge into danger, but they stay. They wait on the bed when you're sick. They sit beside you when you cry. They follow you, quietly, room to room. Not because they're afraid you'll leave, but because they won't. They don't chase away the dark. They accompany you through it. And in a world where everyone wants to fix you, your cat offers something gentler. Presence, without pressure. Love, without words. protection, without noise. Sometimes, that's exactly what we need most. So the next time your cat stares into the dark, don't laugh, don't wave it off, just sit with them. Because maybe, they're seeing more than you. And maybe, just maybe, they're seeing for you. If you've ever felt like your cat was protecting you from something you couldn't name, leave a comment. We'd love to hear your story. And if this touched your heart, join us by subscribing, because we're just getting started on understanding the mysterious, beautiful soul of the feline world.